If you guys enjoy what I do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it's free and easy to do. Welcome to my channel where we cover the lore of video games. We cover all kinds from the mainstream to the indie, so I hope you enjoy your stay, and welcome to the Chronicler of Lore. Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. The Warrior of Light shows up in Razad Han right when Varshan was getting ready to call her. Something has happened to the Void Gate, and he wants to talk to everyone about it. As luck would have it, Y'shtola is supposed to be on her way to the city too, and hopefully that means she's figured out how to draw the light from the first. The fact that she shows up with the machine is a sign that she does have some good news, but that'll have to wait until after Varshan tells you all his news. Urianger sent a message saying that the brands that they were using to keep the Void Scent from coming through to the source are breaking down. The Loporrits are trying to keep them up and running for as long as possible, but it's only a matter of time before they fail completely and you have a full-scale Void Scent invasion on your hands. The fact that those seals had held Zodiark for eons but are breaking under Zeromus's power lets you all know that you're going to be in for a fight when you come face to face with the thing again. Fortunately, Y'shtola has come up with a way to draw the light from the first and use it to weaken the Void Scent. She worked with Sid in the Ironworks because no one who wants to build something complicated would be stupid enough to do it without him, and they've built some ether transmitters that they can use to guide the flow of ether from wherever they want. The plan is to put some in Nabatha Rang, right where the flood of light stopped, and guide that ether into the Crystal Tower. Since the thing is proven that it can send things across dimensions, it only makes sense to use it. Once that's done, they'll send the ether from the tower to the source, then into the rift to the 13th, right through Zeromus's shield. Since some of these transmitters have to be put on the first and you're the only person who can go, it's time for you to take a little trip. Zero wants to tag along so she can see the world that you brought back from the edge of destruction, so she can figure out how she can fix her own. She's perfectly fine getting into a spirit vessel and taking the ride in your pocket, since when Void Scent gets summoned, they leave their bodies behind anyway. So Y'shtola lets her borrow her spirit vessel so she can take the trip with you. Of course, that means you'll have to trek down Bekluk first so the new Mo can get the woman out of the crystal. While you're going to be off catching up with old friends, Estinian decides to head back to the moon to help guard the Void Gate. Since you're going to be dealing with a lot of light ether, Y'shtola thinks you should get Reen to help since she can control the stuff. Bekluk is happy to see you again until you mention the fact that not only do you need another soul freed from a spirit vessel, you're planning on taking light to the Void. All of that sounds like too much work, but since everyone who knows the Warrior of Light is used to her finding ways to make everyone's life more complicated, the dog Faye is fine with helping out. While the Fae works on freeing Zero, it tells you where Reen is so you can drag her into your nonsense too. Since you left the first, the girl has been spending all of her time trying to figure out what plants might grow in the empty so that place can start being livable again. That's a good way to spend her time, but she's more than willing to put that on hold to help you with your not so little mission. She doesn't have a connection to Hydaelyn anymore since the Primal is more than a little dead, but she can still control light. Since you came to get her for just that reason, that's a good thing, so once Bekluk brings Zero, you all can get started. The new Mo doesn't take long to free the woman from the vessel, and since you'll need the Fae to operate the Crystal Tower for you, it keeps the vessel. Grahatia sent instructions on how to work the thing, so that'll make the process easier. The new Mo goes off to get the process started after Zero makes it pretty upset by offering to let it eat some of her ether as payment for not leaving her stuck in the crystal. Zero was expecting this world of light to be different, but it's pretty much the same as the source. Reen, of course, is more than happy to give the woman a tour of the Crystarium since it's her first time there, and while she likes the city, she's more impressed by the fact that the world had been in the same shape as hers before it got fixed, which makes her feel a lot better about trying to fix her own. Since she's never been to any of the Aetherites on the first, Reen thinks the best way to get to Nabatha Rang is if you all hop on an Amuro and fly there, but Lena shows up and stops you all from rushing off. Bekluk told her what you all were planning on doing with the light in the Crystal Tower, And while using it for what you're about to do is possible, having that thing power up in the middle of the city and start shooting out light might scare people to death by making them think the flood is coming again. While you could talk to the people at the Crystarium and get them to be okay with it, that won't do much for the people who don't live there. The different groups only barely started working together, so having the Crystarium start using the Crystal Tower without telling anyone else what's going on might start a war. Or it could push the other groups toward finding ways to counter the tower if the people of the Crystarium ever get the idea to use it on them. That means you, Reen, and Zero will have to hold off on saving your world and take a trip to some of your old Shadowbringer stomping grounds to let the people know what you're about to do. And your first stop on this tour will of course be Yulemoor, where Chai News is still running things. All of this is just an excuse for Zero to see the first and find out that the Warrior of Light is just as popular on that world as she is on the Source. But after the people of Yulemoor hear your story, they obviously won't object, since you are literally the only reason anyone on the entire shard is still alive at all. After Yulemoor, you all head off to see Runar and Raktika. He's happy to see you, but he would have liked it if you'd brought Ishtola. Once he hears that her world is in danger, it's a given that he'll support whatever you're trying to do. While you were visiting friends, Beklut got the Crystal Tower ready, so you, Reen, and Zero head to Nabatha Rang. Lena told Kassar what you were trying to do, and he's already figured out the best place to put the transmitters so they can draw the most ether. And since you had to waste a lot of time going to talk to people, Lena had some of her guards plant your other transmitters, so all you have to do is set up the ones in Nabatha Rang and then you'll be done. Once you've gotten them all set up, they work exactly how Ishtola said and start pulling out a lot of light ether from the flood. Seeing all of that ether makes Zero think that if she had it, she could save her world herself. So she does the most big brain thing you could think of and starts drawing the ether into her own body. It immediately starts to kill her because of course it does, but lucky for her, Reen is there to keep her from exploding. She still thinks that if she can carry some of that light in her own body, she'll be able to start fixing her world, which she's not wrong about, but she'd never be able to contain that power on her own. Of course, Reen can help her absorb it safely, similar to what she did for you back in Shadowbringers, as long as the woman doesn't do what you did and try to absorb all of it. With Reen keeping the woman from exploding, Zero absorbs as much light as she can while the rest gets sent to the Crystal Tower. With that said and done, Beklut puts her back in the spirit vessel and the two of you head back to the Source so you can all get ready to launch your final attack on the Void. And that's where we're going to stop for the day. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share it, and subscribe. Donate to the channel if you can, and I'll see you all next time.